No, it's so hard to do what you really, really desperately want in life. It's so much easier just to do you don't care either way about.
Wow.
Yep, it finally happened. Cate Blanchett dropped a straight-up bomb on Blake Lively, on air. And she didn't even blink. No warning, no sugarcoating, just raw, elegant fury wrapped in Chanel. Because guess what? Blake Lively's reign of silent sabotage, subtle jabs, and behind-the-scenes manipulation? Oh baby, it's crashing faster than her latest box office numbers. And this time, the dagger wasn't from some tabloid or blind item. It came from graceful, unbothered, Oscar-winging Cate. And she came with receipts. She exposed how Blake muscled her way into Chanel, erased years of collaboration, and even pulled Cate's husband into the mud just to feed that ever-glowing ego of hers. We've all heard the whispers. Blake hijacking every room she walks into, dressing her PR spin as empowerment. But this one hurt. Because it's not about a selfie, a fashion line, or another brand flip. This is about legacy. Cate's legacy being erased by a woman who treats spotlight like oxygen. Blake Lively didn't just steal a campaign, she stole the soul of a creative project. One Cate and her husband had nurtured for years. She walked into a space that Cate built and acted like it was hers from day one. And the industry, it clapped.
Being attractive doesn't preclude being intelligent.
Let's rewind. Cate Blanchett had been Chanel's queen for over a decade. She didn't need to stage kitchen photo shoots or post poetic captions to prove her worth. She just was the brand. Elegance, intellect, loyalty. In 2020, Cate's husband, Andrew Upton, wrote a haunting black and white silent short film Chanel signed on. The plan? A deeply artistic campaign that didn't rely on flashy buzzwords or influencers. Just two women, one story, and not a single line of dialogue. Pure cinematic art. But 2 weeks before filming, Cate received a bland corporate email. Creative alignment is no longer in place. Translation, you're out. No explanation, no warning, gone. And just like that, Blake Lively was suddenly the new face of the exact same campaign.
Cate Blanchett, what is your moral compass? Where does kindness and humanity sit in a brutal world? Because those are important questions to ask right now.
In my vagina.
Not a co-star, not a collaborator, a full-on replacement. Andrew's script tossed, the art abandoned. In came Blake, packaging the campaign with Netflix, her wellness brand, and Instagram-ready buzzwords like soft strength and modern femininity. Gone was nuance, in came vibes. Hollywood called it rebranding, but really, it was erasure. Worse? A stylist from the project claimed Blake wasn't even the original choice. Her team barged in late with a juicy multi-brand offer Chanel couldn't resist. This wasn't vision, it was business. Cold, transactional, and brutal. Then came the dinner. At a stunning French chateau, Chanel threw an invite-only event. Cate had RSVP'd months ago when she was still the campaign's centerpiece. Everyone assumed she'd cancel, but no, she showed up. Poised, polished, powerful. And while Cate sat quietly 2 tables away, Blake basked at the center, playing feminist savior with that all-too-practiced smile. Then, Blake turned to someone and whispered, loud enough to be heard, "That script was beautiful, but a little outdated, right?" The response? A chuckle. "You mean Andrew's script?" I didn't even know it was her husband's, but let's be real. Legacy doesn't really sell to Gen Z.
Well, my husband, Andrew Upton and I ran the Sydney Theatre Company he ran it for 10 years almost, and this is the culmination. This is the last play he programmed.
Cate heard. She sat there, absorbing every word as her husband's story, her story, got reduced to a quirky footnote in Blake's reinvention game. And she didn't clap back. She didn't cry, because when you know you're witnessing something beneath you, you don't lower yourself to the mess. But Hollywood didn't stop there. The final slap came on April 16, 2023. A British fashion mag accidentally published an article meant to drop with Cate's original Chanel campaign, the one that was canceled, the one with Andrew's film. The piece was prepped before Blake's version steamrolled through. At first glance, it looked like a regular feature, an early look at Chanel's cinematic revival. But deep in the article, Andrew Upton's name. The script's tone, black and white, minimalist, emotional. It painted Cate not as a model, but as a co-creator. It confirmed filming was scheduled for March and that Cate had been locked in since 2020. In other words, this wasn't a fresh creative switch. It was a cold-blooded replacement. 3 hours after going live, the article vanished, but by then, it was too late. Screenshots flooded Reddit before the editors even hit delete. Side-by-sides of Kate's vision versus Blake's rollout took over TikTok. One post read, "This is how you rewrite someone else's legacy." 2 million views in 48 hours. TikTokers started pulling receipts, contracts, timelines, even metadata. A YouTuber dropped a full breakdown titled "The Chanel Campaign Blake Lively Doesn't Want You to Know About." She paused halfway through reading the deleted article and said, "They didn't even change the structure. Yikes." Chanel's digital team scrambled, articles disappeared, metadata got scrubbed, Google cache wiped, journalists asking for comments were met with dead silence. And silence screams louder than PR fluff ever could, because once the truth leaked, it didn't whisper. It roared. But while Blake's team tried to put out fires with mood lighting and soft girl poses, Cate Blanchett was already plotting her silent storm. And no, it wasn't a tabloid interview or a podcast meltdown. Cate did what she does best. She made art. In June 2023, just 2 months after the article vanished, Cate and Andrew quietly premiered a new play at the Sydney Theatre Company. No red carpet, no influencer invites, just a plain listing, barely promoted. Written by Andrew Upton, directed by Cate Blanchett. The plot? A woman loses control of her own narrative. A younger woman steps in, steals it, and convinces everyone it was hers from the beginning. Let that sink in. The play was originally titled Lines That Weren't Meant to Be Read, but it didn't take long for the name to change, fittingly. Only 400 people saw the premiere, mostly theater lovers and a few painfully emotional fashion interns who knew exactly what was going on. Then, boom. Someone filmed 1 minute of the third act, posted it to Reddit. Kate's character locks eyes with her onstage rival and delivers a line so piercing the whole internet shook. The worst part isn't that you took it, it's that you convinced them it was always yours. And now, when they applaud, I clap too, because I don't even recognize what they're praising anymore. That wasn't just a line, that was a confession. That was a mic drop, and TikTok knew it. Within hours, that monologue went viral. Paired with Blake's Chanel footage on one side and Kate's original campaigns on the other, the edits hit hard. One caption read, "She's not acting. She's telling you what happened." 5 million views, 1 week. Cate didn't need to scream. She didn't need to explain. She let the story bleed out through performance, and the audience, they felt it. By mid-July 2023, the house of cards Blake's team had been holding up finally collapsed. Not behind closed doors, not in whispers, publicly. And it all started with one email. An internal leak from Blake's own PR team landed in a Discord server for marketing insiders. It was dated July 10th, 2023, from Blake's senior brand manager. At the bottom of the email, bold and unapologetic, "If Kate's going the art revenge route, we'll need to elevate the language around Blake's arc. Shift messaging to creative reclamation." Excuse me, creative reclamation? The internet did not let that slide. Within hours, Twitter dragged it to filth. Memes exploded. Comments like "creative reclamation is what you call it when you steal someone's story, get caught and repackage the theft as performance art." It got worse. People posted fake ad slogans. "Just stole my roommate's pitch and called it a narrative reset." "Ruined my coworker's idea and labeled it a soulful reclamation experience." By July 12th, creative reclamation was trendy. Not in celebration, oh no, as a branding punchline. And then came the next disaster, right on cue. A fashion talk show, Fashion Unfiltered, had Blake lined up as the main guest. Simple promo interview, right? Wrong. A behind-the-scenes clip leaked showing the host rehearsing her intro, and y'all, this woman had courage. She said, "We're so excited to talk with Blake Lively about her new Chanel project and what really happened to the version that was supposed to feature Cate Blanchett." Woo, not what Blake's team wanted to hear. They caught wind of it hours before taping, and they panicked. Pulled Blake from the appearance. No excuse, no spin, just gone. The leaked clip landed on X, formerly Twitter, and racked up 2 million views in 48 hours. Caption, "They cut this before Blake ghosted the show." And the replies? Ruthless. If you're scared of being asked the question, you already know the answer. But wait, Blake's team wasn't done embarrassing themselves. Blake was all set to appear on the August 2023 cover of Viva Vogue. The big Power Plus issue, massive Chanel promo, peak image boost. The shoot? Done. The interview? Complete. Press kit? Sent out. Then yanked. Less than 48 hours before publication, the cover was quietly pulled. An insider told Glossy Drama Baba that it wasn't editorial direction, it was reputation management. Translation? She became a liability. The backlash wasn't just loud, it was inescapable. And Cate, still silent. But the internet hadn't forgotten. A quote from her resurfaced, one she said during a Berlin speech in February 2023. It wasn't in the official transcript, but someone from the audience had filmed it. There's a difference between honoring the story and owning it like it was always yours. That quote? It exploded. TikTok edits paired it with Blake's campaign clips, old Cate interviews, red carpet footage, no captions needed. The betrayal was clear as day. The hashtag #KateTheLastAct started trending. Fans flooded timelines with clips that reminded the world exactly why Cate Blanchett is who she is. It wasn't nostalgia, it was reclaiming. Because legacy isn't built on hashtags, it's built on time, on substance, on staying power. And then the final nail in the coffin. A Chanel fan account with 300K plus followers posted the brand's official 2023 Legacy Collaborators reel. Kristen Stewart? There. Penelope Cruz? There. Florence Welch? Tilda Swinton? Cate Blanchett? All still there. Blake Lively, gone. Not a frame, not a whisper, not a single mention, completely erased like she was never part of it. The caption didn't mince words. They kept Florence, they kept Kristen, but Blake, not even a footnote. And then came the tweet that sealed it. Side-by-side screenshots. On the left, Blake's Chanel ad where she dramatically says some stories were never told until now. And on the right, the deleted UK fashion article's final line. Some stories are best told in silence. Over 40,000 reposts in 3 days, the internet's verdict, this wasn't empowerment. This wasn't branding, this was storytelling. This was theft wrapped in luxury and sprayed with overpriced perfume. And Blake Lively, she didn't just lose the narrative, she became the cautionary tale. Because in Hollywood, you can fake the lighting, you can buy the buzz, but you can't fake legacy. And if you try to steal someone else's crown, well, eventually the applause dies and you're left clapping alone. So now the question is, does Blake have the nerve to try for a comeback after this mess? Let us know what you think in the comments. Will Hollywood forgive or just forget?